Ya, 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 yama, yama, yama. Ya, 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 yama, yama, yama. Ya, 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 yama, yama, yama. Ya, ya.
Hello, this is episode 106.
Get your fix.
Viva Physical Media. My name is Emalie.
It's me, Matt. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back to
Hello.
Viva Physical Media.
Welcome back. And you, welcome back from your second trip to Los Angeles.
Thank you. That was fun. I was on the ground for about 14 hours.
15 jam-packed hours, and a lot of those, a good chunk of that was the movie that you watched.
Yes, I went to see The Whole Bloody Affair at the Vista. It was amazing. I was levitating pretty much the entire time.
Beautiful theater.
So good.
Honestly.
I had a hot dog. I got a little Bounty Law cup.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. What has been going on around the store here?
Well, we got these fancy new hats.
Oh, yeah.
They're like the other hat, but they're trucker-style hats.
Yeah, if you want to let your head breathe. It's got some nice breathable mesh. We have those, and we have restock of the other hats. So come on in, get your hats. Get your hat fix. We have the parking lot sale coming up September 6th.
So much stuff in the back that is ready to be put into that parking lot sale, and we're looking for more. If you got stuff you want to bring in and donate, bring it in.
My buddy's uncle has a bunch of 80s movie posters. Real good ones too, so we're gonna get those out there, and hopefully the parking lot will be ready for a sale.
Yeah, well, it might be a half a parking lot sale.
We'll just be selling shit off of the scaffolding.
Yeah,
you have to climb up to make the transaction. You gotta work for it here at Scarecrow.
Get the Mariners moose to go up there and shoot.
Yeah, we'll have a DVD cannon.
Oh my God,
we're gonna have a DVD cannon.
It's just gonna fucking like pummel people in the face.
It's gonna be
it's gonna be like the CD Soderback from Hellraiser 4 or 3. Yeah, just
3.
shooting discs at you. What else? We got some outdoor movies? Oh, Fiji water, wow.
It's just an old bottle.
You're like, this whole thing?
It's just regular water.
Just regular water in a really fancy bottle. Yeah, Movies by the Tower. By the time this episode is on YouTube, the first installment of Movies by the Tower, which is The Wild Robot, will have already happened. I think that's this coming Saturday for us. But the one that's coming up after this one is on the 16th at Maple Leaf Park, and that is like it's Metropolis deconstructed. It's like an older, like a much shorter but old cut of Metropolis that's been sort of put back together. There's going to be a live score for it.
Fun.
It's going to be really cool. That's also going to be playing at the Olympia Film Society the next night at the Capitol Theater. That is the next Movies by the Tower. And then also our member screening, if you're a Scarecrow member, not just an account holder, but a Scarecrow annual member. The member screening is Tuesday the 19th at 7 p.m. at Film Forum, and that is Monty Python and the Holy Grail for the 50th anniversary. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, we heard about that when we introed
Viva la Muerte.
Viva la Muerte, which was something else.
That's what I'm told.
Quite a film.
But that's what's going on Scarecrow-wise right now.
Yeah, so come on in, check out those events, check out our store, rent some movies, and let's get going.
I still say movies are your best entertainment.
I know you guys have been waiting for this segment, and it's here, finally.
The real high energy.
It is Raunch versus
Rom.
And last time, if you recall, we had two fighters that were born of the same father.
Reitman versus Reitman.
It was a Reitman off, but one of them was wrong.
One of them got Reitmaned off. By the way, I just got wiped out on this one.
Completely wiped. I'm not sure there was one vote for you.
Yeah, I think I got blown out.
And you know what? That's not your fault because people seem to just love meatballs.
Yeah.
And meatballs isn't raunchy.
Yeah.
Not really at all. And I know you guys only voted for it because you love meatballs. That's fine, I guess. Yeah. But this next Raunch I have for you is, and I didn't even tally the votes because I just won by
There's no point. I mean, I looked at them too, and I don't think I got a single vote.
But don't worry because we're back. We're back to our roots. We're back
on our bullshit.
Back on our bullshit with, in my corner of the ring, Miami Models, 1994, Paul Madden.
And I have Best Friends, I think 82,
That's
Norman Jewison with Burt Reynolds and Goldie Hawn. Yeah, look at her. She's like nibbling on his ear, and he's like,
I mean, I love both those guys. So, all right. So we have 2 minutes. This is how it goes, you guys. We get 2 minutes on the clock. We talk about our Raunch or our Rom, and what gives it that je ne sais quoi.
The zhuzh.
The zhuzh. And then at the end, we have our closing statements, our closing arguments, and then you, the viewer, get to vote for your winner, whether it is the Raunch of Miami Models or the ROM of Best Friends. So, Rich, will you do the honors of giving me a 2-minute timer?
3, 2, 1, go.
Miami Models, 1994, directed by Paul Madden, who is the director of such classics as Summer Job and Tropical Tease, which this, I guess, is a spiritual sequel to.
Of course.
There's a Miami Beach mansion, and this really rich guy tells his driver that he can watch the house while he's gone for 2 months. And his driver's this, like, horny slob named Barry, and he's like chewing on cigars, and he's disgusting, and he always has like a blow-up doll with him, and he's drinking a bunch and eating pizza, and he just kind of trashes the place. And then his son comes over, Barry Jr., who doesn't look that much younger than him, and he's like, he works for a modeling agency called Eurotrash, and they're gonna fire him because he's just really bad at his job, and he's clumsy, and he trips over like cords and stuff. And so they decide to start their own modeling agency and have the girls live in this mansion. And so they like do it by sneaking the information from Eurotrash modeling agency and then going and picking up all the models that are like flying into Miami to go to this other agency and just kind of corralling them for themselves. And then they try to get jobs by like sneaking the other modeling agencies like go-see lists and stuff, and then all the girls for some reason think it's like just totally fine to just be at this fake modeling agency and like live together in this mansion. The modeling agency is called B&B Models, Barry and Barry Models, or as they like to say, Buns and Boobs Models.
Yes.
And Barry Jr. really wants to be a film director.
Of course.
So after the modeling agency thing, he thinks that it's going to kind of catapult him, and he has a lot of scripts that he's reading that he's going to try to direct, and one of them is called A British Werewolf in Miami. And at the beginning of the movie, it says that the screenplay was written by Louis Dupont based on his opera Les Mannequins du Monde, which is supermodels. I don't know if it's a real opera.
3, 2, 1, go.
I picked 1982's Best Friends, directed by Norman Jewison, starring Goldie Hawn and Burt Reynolds. I believe the screenplay was by Barry Levinson and his wife at the time, Valerie Curtin. This is sort of loosely autobiographical. They play a couple who both lives together. They've lived together for a while. They're about to buy a house, but they're unmarried. They also work together. They're a screenwriting duo. And they're very happy. They're in a very loving, committed relationship. They adore each other. The work is good. They're in the middle of a big writing assignment for this studio guy played by Ron Silver. But Burt Reynolds really wants to get married, and Goldie Hawn is very reluctant to, and eventually he kind of wears her down and they decide to get married. And like most of the movie is like their honeymoon. So they go on a long train ride from LA to Buffalo to visit her, which is a disaster. And they visit her parents, and her parents are Bernard Hughes, I think, and Jessica Tandy. And there's like a whole thing about how Jessica Tandy's like really horny, but her husband is like sexually ignoring her, and they're really old, and it's grossing Burt Reynolds really far out. And their house is super cold. And then they go down to Virginia to visit his parents, and it's Audra Lindley, and Keenan Wynn is his dad. And they're equally fucking crazy. And so like Goldie Hawn's having a miserable time there. And like so miserable that she starts like taking too many Xanax, and she like passes out in the middle of a ladies' lunch with like the sister and the wife and the mother. And like it basically like slowly but surely this trip just like destroys their relationship, and it like curdles and sours. Their working relationship starts to get ruined too. They eventually go back to LA and are sort of forced to be in the same room together to finish this screenplay that they're supposed to do. And at that point, they sort of realize like the damage that they've done to their relationship. It's very cynical, but also very silly. I was not expecting sort of as much slapstick and goofball humor as ends up being in here. Burt and Goldie, however, like chemistry off the charts. You love them anyway, and it's great to see them here in kind of an off-kilter, like semi-serious, like more of a dramedy than a rom-com.
I want to watch it. So now we do our closing statements. Any last things we want to say about the movie? And for me, I need to tell you guys that when they do eventually get into directing films later, they shoot a scene that is kind of, it's basically a direct copy of the death scene in Bonnie and Clyde, where they get shot in front of the car, except they get shot so much that the girl's top flies off and her big fake boobs are covered in fake blood.
Cool.
And they're having a discussion. Barry Jr. says, Dad, haven't you ever heard of sexual harassment in the workplace? And guess what Barry Sr. says?
Tell me.
He says, heard of it. I invented it.
Hell yeah.
So, you know.
That's good.
Miami Models.
For my closing statement, I mentioned in my pitch that this was written by Barry Levinson and his then wife Valerie Curtin. Emphasis on then. Shortly after this movie was made and released, they divorced. So, you know.
So does love exist?
Yeah.
You be the judge. And you be the judge of this competition as well. We need you to vote for Miami Models or Best Friends. Raunch or...
Rom.
My pick is the classic Morocco. So I'd never seen this before, and this is like infamously the Marlene Dietrich movie where she dresses all like masculine and then kisses a woman. That's like what it's most famous for, I think, but it's actually just a really engaging romance too, and beautifully filmed. 1930, directed by Josef von Sternberg, who also directed Shanghai Express and Blonde Venus, among other things. This is a sexy pre-code drama romance starring Gary Cooper, doing his whole moody tall thing that he does.
What are you doing with those figures?
Nothing.
He's a womanizing foreign legionnaire. He joined the Legion to basically find some purpose and fuck a lot of ladies along the way. He meets French cabaret performer, nightclub singer who just got into town, Marlene Dietrich, and she has seen it all and has dealt with a lot of shitty dudes.
I make the trip quite often. Perhaps I can be of some service. I'd be happy to help you.
I won't need any help.
She's a tough cookie, obviously. Really good performances of hers in this at the nightclub.
Mais un beau jour, pour rien qu'en cause, l'amour se fan avec les fleurs, et on reste là toute chose.
She and Gary Cooper meet. They kind of have this little like sexy flirtatious thing going on, and during one of her performances,
An apple, they say, keeps the doctor away, while his pretty young wife has the time of her life.
she's like selling apples to people in the crowd, and she slips him her room key, which is like super scandalous. He goes back to her room and they have like a big flirt off, and he leaves because she kicks him out.
You better go now. I'm beginning to like you.
Meanwhile, the top officer's daughter used to fuck Gary Cooper, and she's like, I want you to settle down with me. He's kind of giving her the go around.
Caesar's wife is above suspicion.
Yeah? You may know something about ancient history, but I know something about husbands.
So it's like both of these people are not quite ready for commitment, but they're also strangely drawn to each other. And earlier in the movie, Marlene Dietrich sees all these women following around this departing group of legionnaires, like just following them and like carrying a bunch of their shit, a bunch of food, like goats and stuff, and just like following them out into the desert. And she's like, what are they doing? And someone's like, oh, well, you know, those are the men they love, and they're just following them wherever they get stationed, so they don't have to wait for them to come back.
Those women must be mad.
Foreshadowing, because this, I mean, spoiler alert, whatever.
Spoiler alert activated.
It's a very iconic scene at the end of this movie when all is said and done and Gary Cooper has to leave for another station. She runs after him in her like spiked heels, and then eventually like takes him off and just joins the women that follow the men. And it's in a way that's very romantic and not like, oh, she's being weak.
Spoiler alert deactivated.
I really liked this. I thought it was very, very gorgeous. All the musical scenes were extremely entertaining. Marlene Dietrich's really awesome. I'm not a big Gary Cooper guy.
Anybody who has faith in me is a sucker.
I think he's just kind of a schmuck. But like maybe I haven't seen him in the right stuff. But
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
yeah.
But I mean,
he
you're not
like,
obligated to
plays-
love Gary Cooper.
No, I
or
don't need
anything.
to. What are you guys gonna do?
Yeah.
You guys want to fight me if I don't like Gary Cooper? No.
We'll leave you a stern voicemail.
More like a Josef on Sternberg voicemail. Am I right? So this movie's great. If you haven't watched Morocco and you only know about it from like the scene and you want to see Marlene Dietrich kiss a woman, check it out. It's a really essential pre-code viewing.
For my pick, I chose a movie that I haven't seen in a very long time. When I first started working here many, many years ago, we used to constantly get DVDs from all over the world, from all different region codes. And we'd get stuff that would probably never come out in the States at all. And if it did, we would get it months and months ahead. This was also at a time when like Japanese new wave cinema and like the South Korean boom was happening. And so we were getting tons of stuff like that. And this was one of the first movies that I remember getting that way here, that like all of us passed around the store.
Nice.
And we all loved it. And I revisited it because there's a brand new Region B Blu-ray that we just got in. It's called The Taste of Tea. This is a lovely, very simple movie about a family that lives in not a rural part of Japan, but like sort of a suburban part of Japan. The young son, he's got a crush on a girl at school, and he doesn't know how he can tell her. He's too shy. The dad is like, you know, just kind of a regular everyday guy, just goes to work, comes home, takes care of his family. His wife is an animator, and her father-in-law, the husband's dad, he kind of used to be in that business too. And so the wife and the father-in-law kind of, like the father-in-law like pose for her so she can draw
Cute.
him in certain poses.
Go. Go.
And then there's the little girl who is having this problem where she is constantly seeing a giant version of herself like looming over her. And she doesn't know why that's happening. And she comes to believe that it will go away if she can do a backflip on this like horizontal bar.
Oh, is this gonna get fucked up?
No, not remotely.
In my brain, I was like, and then she tries and she kills herself,
No.
and the ghost is like,
It is 100% not that kind of movie at all. It is just a very sweet, very slow moving, very quiet film about the spaces in these people's lives and the spaces between those things. If you like Miyazaki films, he talks a lot about this Japanese concept called ma, which is like the pause between the pause, you know, like the moment between the moment. And there's so much of this movie kind of fulfills that idea too, of like just sort of embracing the very simple things that are around you all the time. About how, you know, we relate to our family and our friends, how we find pleasure and happiness in the smallest of everyday things. Sort of the good stuff is where you find it. It's also absolutely gorgeous and really, really, well, like, I don't know how to say this, like really just sort of quaintly photographed. And it's by a guy named Katsushiro Ishii, I think is his name. And he's done a lot of like way more rambunctious movies. This is like very uncharacteristic of the rest of his work. Like I think the movie he did before this, Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, was Party 7. And that's wild.
I feel like I've heard of that movie.
It's also, yeah, all his stuff is really good, but this is like an outlier. That's right, yeah. Then that was like an early Tadanobu Asano, who's also in this as like the ne'er-do-well uncle who shows up.
And he's also in Party 7.
Yeah. This was at a time where Tadanobu Asano was like the Adam Driver of Japanese cinema.
Yeah.
He was in fucking everything. And he was great in almost everything. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I remember loving this when it came out. I remember like we all passed it around before it got put out on the shelf.
Love that.
And everybody was really, really into it. And I hadn't thought about it in a really long time. And I saw his Blu-ray got added to our collection, and I thought I had to rewatch it. And it was just as good, if not better, than when I first encountered it. I thought that maybe this was the kind of thing I would have outgrown.
Yeah.
But no, I think I've grown into it.
Oh, nice.
So it's really great. If you have not seen this, track down a copy of The Taste of Tea. Episode 106 in the can.
106, you got your fix.
Yeah, there you go.
And now it's time to say goodbye because we've given you some great recommendations. Be sure to vote for Raunch versus Rom. Be sure to show up to all of the events that we highlighted at the beginning of this episode and come on into Scarecrow if you are not from around here or if you don't live around here, should I say. Do rent by mail. You can sign up online and you can get our collection delivered to your doorstep or wherever you collect your mail.
And speaking of mail, send us some mail. We didn't have any viewer mail this episode.
Yeah, it was an empty mailbox. A moth flew out. There was a cobweb in there.
There was like a skeleton in there.
Yeah, a skeleton with an empty envelope.
And he had like a headlamp on that was kind of not working anymore. It was very weird.
It was sad. We left him in there.
Yeah, so send us some mail, ask us your questions, send us your recommendations, tell us what you're watching, pictures of your pets. You can email to us. You can also send us some physical mail at 5030 Roosevelt Way Northeast, Seattle, Washington 98105. So yeah, send us some mailbags so we can do some mailbags.
And share this episode and all the other episodes with your friends and family on your socials. Tag us and stuff. Hit the like and subscribe and comment below. And Viva Physical Media. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
What am I bid for my apple? The fruit that made Adam